In a moment, round 4 of the New Zealand Rally Championship. The fast, open nature of the roads makes it a driver's favourite, the Hawke's Bay Rally. Before we do that, though, we're joined by one of the leading drivers, Chris West. In fact, we're lucky to have him because he became a father for the first time yesterday. Chris, do you have any idea how your life is about to change?
That's probably the most polite way it's been put to me over the weekend. So, yeah, it's certainly going to be exciting, and we had a lot of good times and so forth to look forward to. But Carter James arrived yesterday morning. In
the way it's been put to you, then, have there been suggestions that the timing is a bit strange in the middle of the Rally Championship?
Yeah, well, yeah, Mel was she was actually due to go last Wednesday, and as always, we're getting a wee bit anxious, so we. Naturally, well, she actually went naturally on Friday, so we were pretty lucky. But right in dead smack in between two events of our calendar through the year.
Well, it's fantastic. Congratulations to you and to Mel as well. That's wonderful news. Let's talk rallying. Very impressive the way you bounced back after Northland, or with Northland.
Yeah, with Northland, being the third round, we have had mixed events, and really we had a fantastic run up there. They had a concept of a rally sprint on the second day, and we just.
What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it is different, and it's probably not not the concept that we have in rallying. The road is actually 5 kilometres long, and we compete over that for a minimum of 8 times before the eliminations. But I think it's a right concept and right frame of mind. You'll go well, and certainly put some different people on the front, so to speak.
You talk about the right frame of mind. How hard was that, given what happened to you, losing the points from the first 2 rounds? Yeah,
especially, well, we only found out we lost the points at Harbour 7, Harbour State the night before, so it was pretty tough. But I guess, in certain situations like that, it does bring the best out in you, and we, Gary and I had a set thing to do, and that was obviously to win, and that's what we went and done for the weekend.
Well, let's talk Hawke's Bay now. What were the roads like?
Hawke's Bay's, the local roads that have been run in previous years, and obviously pretty cold being in the middle of winter, and fantastic. There was a lot of people out there, and we had a very good run. There's a lot of shingle on the roads, which is obviously well known through the year, so we're prepared for that. But in some situations it's unavoidable being at the front of the pack.
You would know those roads pretty well. You and Richard Mason had a pretty good duel there last year.
Yeah, Richard and I are always having a duel, and it's goes from one event to the other, and we fought tooth and nail for the whole weekend, and only just coming out on top. So it was a fantastic result for the whole Wingless Safari Rally team.
All right, well, we'll come back and talk some more with Chris West after Rally Hawke's Bay. The longest round of the series, 12 stages, 288 kilometres. Richard Mason going in 33 points ahead of Sam Murray, with Emma Gilmore third. Round 4 of the New Zealand Rally Championship, Rally Hawke's Bay.
It's the halfway point of the Parker NZ New Zealand Rally Championship in association with Vantage Aluminium Joinery. Competitors will fight it out on the roads of the sunny Hawke's Bay, situated on the east coast of New Zealand's North Island. The historic river town of Wairoa will be the base for leg 1 as the stages wind their way through the spectacular hills and valleys. While on day 2, the rally will follow the railway south to the Esk Valley on the outskirts of Napier to challenge the drivers with forestry roads and the infamous mountainous road through Darkey's Spur. A ceremonial start in the Art Deco city of Napier on the Friday night brought the competitors together with the rally fans. Chris West had posted an impressive win at the previous round at Whangarei, despite being disqualified from round 1, which left his championship hopes in tatters.
259.5. Okay.
No, you can't give up. It's we're only just on halfway now, and we're in the second half of the championship, and who would have known what was going to happen in the first half? So you just got to press on and take every day accordingly, and do the best job possible.
So with 2 wins and a second place, Richard Mason is in a dominant position on the leaderboard with 178 points, a 33-point lead over Sam Murray.
Yeah, we need to extend that lead. As we keep saying, we don't look like we're going to be able to do the last round in Nelson because of our clashes in China. We have to go over and do the rally there. So we need to extend our lead to Sam Murray until we get to the point where it's unassailable to catch us. So that's certainly what we have to aim for.
We aim to be in the top 3, but in saying that, a second's good, but it's still probably a few more points than what I would have liked to have been behind. So it's all on for tomorrow, and hopefully claw some back.
And hope too for Mitsubishi, with both Dylan Turner and Brett Martin showing equal speed to the Subarus on day 2 at Whangarei.
It is getting close. We're slowly getting our times up towards Sam and Emma's times. Our goal is to try and get with Richard and Chris, but yeah, I don't know whether that's pushing it a bit much, but we'll have a fair go at it.
So as Mason heads the field away, let's take a look at what's in store on our Vantage Aluminium stage preview.
Today's 3 stages are based out of Wairoa. These roads are absolutely fantastic. Big, wide, open, really fast, over lots of crests, need lots and lots of commitment. It'll be pretty gravelly in our first run through. Tyre choice will be very critical, and expect our times to come down this afternoon when the roads sweep.
A brilliant but frosty morning greeted the drivers for Stage 1, Land Power Herehereto, which will be repeated in the afternoon as Stage 4, 20.5 kilometres. The stage has a narrow one-lane bridge, which had been repaired following flooding, Roger, and will require careful consideration by the drivers.
Sure will, Darcy. It'll be noted in their pace notes, however. The other thing that will be critical will be tyre choice on these stages.
1, go.
On board with Chris West here at the start of the stage. You can see the road here is quite swept, not a lot of gravel on top of the surface.
7 right plus 80.
What Chris has done here in the first stage, he's gone for a very wide tyre, a 215. Now that'll work if the road is completely swept, but will it stay that way through the stage?
Well, it didn't, Roger, and it ended up costing Chris West 8.4 seconds to Mason.
We took a wider tyre, and hopefully we're going to pay off in the next 2, but yeah, a lot of sunstrike, and took it pretty cautious in there. We'll just get into it, hopefully.
30, caution, 3 left, don't cut, 2 right.
Sam Murray is next on the stage, and as he approaches the bridge, see how the road has already rutted up after just a few cars.
30.
Well, see here at the end of the stage, Darcy, a positive racing line has been created by the cars in front, so it's very important to be accurate and keep your wheels on that racing line.
4 right minus, 5 left minus, pass finished.
And Murray is now 10 seconds down on Mason.
30.
Sam, looks like you're 2 seconds slower than Westy, but the bad news is Richard was 10 seconds quicker.
Yeah, it wasn't a great run through the attic. Had one fright in particular, which wasn't perfect, but yeah, it's good to get out of the way. It was one of those stages he had to be a little bit cautious, I think, with how slippery it was. So we'll move on from there and see if we can be a bit quicker in the next ones.
6 right 50.
Next on the road is Emma Gilmore, and the conditions don't get better. Nearly a spin here, Roger.
Yeah, unfortunately, Emma turned in a little bit too early there, got into the loose a little bit sideways. She recovered well. She's getting sideways here as well.
Good run. It was pretty icy in there. We had a few half spins quite fast, so yeah, no, it was good.
Time a little bit down on Richard, about 20 seconds.
20 seconds, that's a lot.
Mark Tapper has an A seeding, so despite running a less powerful 2-litre front-wheel drive, he started 5th on the road, but it was destined to be a short day for the Aucklander.
Mark, a strong smell of gear all around here.
Yeah, I don't know what we've blown. It might be the diff or an axle, but we don't have many parts, and there's a long way to go to the next service. I'd say that's probably the end of it for us, unfortunately.
But the early surprise was the pace of Brett Martin, who was running 5th on the road and posted 3rd fastest time, just 0.1 of a second down on West. Dylan Turner, running 10th on the road, may have been disadvantaged through the rutted road at the bridge, but just look at the condition of the stage further on. You can see where the gravel has been swept clean by the preceding cars. He was 5th fastest.
One of the problems Dylan will have is sunstrike along with the other drivers. Now the key for Dylan here is to keep his wheels in the racing line. Absolutely important to do that. If he can do that, he'll come through with a very fast stage time.
Hayden Padden missed round 2, but has made up ground in the battle for the rookie title. He was 7th ahead of another rookie and first local, Stuart Taylor. So after stage 1, it's Richard Mason in the lead from West, Martin, Sam Murray and Dylan Turner. 2 Subies in the lead, Brett Martin, the first Mitsubishi. Coming up, the roads take a toll and produce some surprises at Rally Hawke's Bay. The weather remains fine and sunny for stages 2 and 3. Stage 2, Haiapul Waihi, is 34.6 k's. It starts with a flat valley before climbing a narrow road, but the final 10 k's is hard-packed and wide. Stage 3, Hawke's Bay Today Cricklewood, climbs a steep hillside at the start with heavy gravel, but once again the road cleans off toward the finish. Mason is being punished by the thick gravel at number 1 on the road, but he still manages to stay ahead of the pack in stage 1. Now it's just a question of whether he can hold off the competition over the next 2 stages. Chris West made a huge gamble running wide tyres, and you can see here, Roger, that the conditions just don't suit his choice.
No, they don't at all, Darcy. What the problem here is there's a bit of gravel on the road there. His big tyres are just skating across the top of the surface. He's not getting a lot of traction. He can see losing time every corner he goes past to Richard Mason.
3 right long. And 4 left plus.
Mason, in fact, pulls out a 25-second lead over West by the end of stage 3. Sam Murray next on the road, and Roger, the same deal. The road isn't much better.
No, Sam's running number 3 on the road. It won't be much better for him, but look at the way he's driving the car. He's nice and relaxed, not a lot of movement on the steering. You can see there, though, the road's getting a little bit better for him.
Into a 7 left, 30.
Sam is 17 seconds down on Mason at the end of 3, but now ahead of West. Just 1 car further down the field, but already Emma Gilmore is better off.
As you can see there, Emma's throwing that car sideways. Now, as every car goes over the stage, the road gets swept more and more, so the competitors behind Emma are even going to be better off.
So Emma moves to within 4 seconds of West. But Brett Martin was the real charger. That time set in special stage 1 was no fluke. He is on fire, winning stage 2 over Mason by 4.6 seconds, and then winning stage 3 as well. But this time, just 0.2 of a second ahead of Mason and moving him up the leaderboard to 2nd place. Dylan Turner may have hoped for a top result, running on sweat roads until this, Roger.
Yeah, Dylan's hit it pretty hard there. In fact, he's lucky he didn't go off again, right there. Now, if you listen to this car, there's a bit of a problem. You can hear some problem in the rear end of this car.
We just got a little bit wide on an exit of a corner, and I saw a big hole. We hit the hole and got up on 2 wheels, and we're heading to sort of like a 4 left minus corner, and we got it back together in time. There was a funny vibration in the car. We thought we might be all right if we nursed it back, but it sort of screamed enough about here and axle's broken, so that's us out.
Patrick Malley was lucky to keep going after a roll on stage 2, leaving his team with plenty of work ahead at the service. And Leanne Barnes lost time late in stage 3 when she rolled and damaged her suspension. So Hayden Padden is now in 6th and leading the rookie battle over top local driver Stuart Taylor, who is showing good form on his local stages. Leaderboard we go. Richard Mason still in the lead, but look at Brett Martin. An outstanding morning for him. Unfortunately, the other side for Chris West, who's slipping down the table. So back to sunny Wairoa for service, and time for Richard Mason to reflect on a surprising morning.
For some reason we overheated the front brakes, and I'm not quite sure why that happened. I just felt a brake shutter starting to happen late in the stage and wondered why it was.
3 more stages before we see you again. At the end of this event, can you maintain that lead?
Well, I hope so. That's always the plan. I think it'll be better for us now. We go out to sweet roads, and I think it'll be a little bit different.
And Brett Martin had given the Mitsubishi something to smile about at last.
Brett, you've been the real star this morning. You're the first person in the Mitsubishi won stages in the Rally Championship this year.
Yeah, the car just seems to be going really good. We've got a lot of confidence at the moment, and it just all seems to be working for a change. No problems.
You won stage 2 and 3. Did you get to the end of the stage and felt as if you'd won them?
I suppose I've been driving probably pretty at 100%, and we sort of haven't made too many mistakes, so it's sort of getting to the end and knowing the times are there, it's pretty good.
But in the blue corner, Chris West was reflecting on a bad tyre choice.
We took a bit of a gamble this morning and run with a wider tyre and opened it up, hoping to a bit more rubber on the road. But the conditions here are just they look the same as what we had at Whangarei, but they're actually totally the opposite. And ground temperature's a wee bit colder, and this morning we've suffered quite bad. Obviously, you can see the stage times against the others. So we'll go back to what we know for this afternoon and try and make some work.
And the roads had dealt a blow to Patrick Malley's rookie title hopes.
Patrick, a bit of damage to the car. What happened?
We rolled in stage 2 at Waihi. It's been handling really unpredictably. We're not quite sure why, but just came into a 3 left and it crossed up on me and caught the bank and rolled over a couple of times, and luckily managed to keep going.
And the damage was just as bad for Leanne Barnes.
Leanne, what happened?
Just a bit wide out of a corner and just clipped inside of a bank, and it just slowly went over, but we lost quite a bit of time because the shock popped out of the socket, so we've had to just change the shocks over now, so they're working hard out trying to get it ready so we can get back out there.
It's just great here, just looking at all the different crews just getting involved from all the other teams putting your car back together.
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic. I mean, it's great that they've got such a good bunch of guys around that they can help out. It's definitely going to get us back out there, which we wouldn't probably be able to do unless they were helping out.
The Kiwi 2 battle had started well for Aaron Cook on stage 1, but a blown diff on stage 2 put him out for the day. Following on from his winning form at round 3, Glenn Inkster was the second place driver over Dave Strong. Strong once again having issues with his car, finally getting out of stage 2, still third place in the class, but suffering from having no clutch.
Clutch is going away again.
As you just heard there, Dave is talking about having no clutch. It'd be very tricky to drive this car with no clutch. You can see him upshifting or even trying to downshift there. It really hasn't been Dave's year. He's had problems all season, and here it goes again.
James Holder then made a break on the field on stage 3 to lead going into the service break. And it was Glenn Inkster who held second, despite still having steering rack problems which have plagued the team all season. And once again, this was a round of the New Zealand Classic Championship, and the RX-7 of Robert Murray leading the way. Coming up, can Chris West make up that lost time? And the battle for first rally rookie heats up. In a sport where partnerships are so important, surprisingly few have gone the distance. But Dave Strong and Bruce McKenzie have been sitting together for 13 years.
Looks like you two guys are the longest pairing in the national championship. Bruce, when did it all start?
1992, we teamed up. A 7 left, 4 right minus. We just had a good relationship. We worked well in the car. And a 3 right. Out of the drive. 3 right and a 4 left. And we're still together now, and it's 2006. It's an interesting relationship that you build between you. The trust and the faith in each other is unbelievable. I never ever feel scared. I think we also push each other a little bit. When we need a bit more speed, well, we can both pick our game up.
I think that was best we could do. Was all right? That was a very good time, actually.
Yeah, well, the way I explain it is if I make a mistake, I know I'm doing it and I've got a chance of saving it. If Bruce makes a mistake and you're going 100% on notes, which we do, you're gone. You don't know it's wrong. You occasionally make a mistake. You must do. You do thousands of corners. But Bruce has never caused me to crash, that's for sure.
100.
From the driver point of view, I guess it's frustrating for you that these young quick guys coming up.
Yeah, I think I'm still got the pace this year. It just hasn't strung it together. I know I can beat them all because that's what I set my goals for.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
but it certainly hasn't reflected in any results this year, but I haven't given up.
The drivers now had the afternoon to tackle the same 3 roads, hopeful that the deep gravel would have been swept off to expose the hard road beneath. Once again, Richard Mason is first through, but this time he would not be the fastest. The road conditions, Roger, what do you make of them?
Well, you can just see the colour in the road there. There's a definite groove in there. Now, the interesting thing is all the drivers are running a wide tyre, a 205. Now, most of them have put a cut in for this afternoon just to get a little bit extra traction out of it. Now, look at Chris West. He's absolutely attacking these stages. He has to. He has to make up some time on Richard Mason. He's got the right tyres for the job now.
His time on stage 4 was 11:52.6, 1.6 seconds faster than Mason, but a whopping 24 seconds faster than his morning run. But remember that Mason had a 25-second buffer over West after stage 3. In fact, his competition was from Brett Martin and the Mitsubishis. But West wasn't giving up on stage 5. He pulled another 5 seconds back on Mason and was now challenging to get back into second place.
As we can see in those shots, Chris West is trying really, really hard. Perfect apexing back there. Oh, he's just hit the bridge as he went through there. Chris is on a mission.
Emma Gilmore really upped the pace too on stage 5. She was second fastest, just 3.3 seconds down on West. She had set herself the challenge of winning a couple of stages today.
4 right, narrow gate, 5 left plus 120. 6 left, opens 30, past junction.
Brett Martin didn't have such an advantage now and lost second to West and was now third, 25 seconds down on Mason.
7 left,
A huge moment there for Sam Murray, who was pushing hard, but he would trail Gilmore by 13 seconds at the end of stage 5. Hayden Padden continued to lead the rookies and kept his 6th place overall. Stuart Taylor lost a further 9 seconds to Padden over these 2 stages, but was still in 7th, ahead of Glenn Smith. In the battle for Kiwi 2, James Holder continued his giant-killing effort, leading the class, but he would have to yield the honour of first two-wheel drive car to the classic of Robert Murray.
Yes, Darcy, isn't it great to see this car again being driven by Bert Murray? Now, Neil Allport won this rally 2 decades ago in this exact car.
Glenn Engster was still second of the Kiwi 2s, while Andrew Keeley was third, having overtaken Jason West's Suzuki in stage 5. So after special stage 5, it's still Mason at number 1, but now West has second place, 18.4 seconds back. Martin's still in touch though, and Hayden Padden is leading the rookies. So with 1 stage to run on leg 1 of the Rally of Hawke's Bay, it's Dean Sumner who grabs 10th place after a bad start. Another 9th place finish for Brent Taylor in the Evo 6. And 8th place, not bad for Glenn Smith, who'd been sick all day. Stuart Taylor was the first Hawke's Bay man home, but in 7th, so lost the rookie battle to Padden, but that was enough to take the rookie points lead. But a class win was good for Padden, who needs to make up for missing round 2 at Rotorua. Sam Murray only finished 5th, and he really needs to do better than that if he's to remain in the title chase.
You did right there, Darcy. Sam, earlier on the year, he consistently was 2nd, 3rd place. He needs to get back into that groove to be close to Richard Mason for the championship title.
A good recovery from a slow start by Emma Gilmore saw her take 4th, but she didn't get the stage win that she was after today. Brett Martin's third place, a podium finish, has put him back in the race for the title. Chris West won the stage again, taking another 3.7 seconds off Mason, but it wasn't enough to make up for the error in judgment on the morning stages. He still needs every point that he can get to get back into title contention, and he's shown that he and the Winger team are not about to give up on that fight yet.
35 right plus, tightens to 4 right.
But hats off to Mason, who wins the day and adds another 32 points to his championship tally. Let's recap on the results of the day. Richard Mason in first place, followed by Chris West. Emma Gilmore in at fourth. Hayden Padden, a good effort in the Mitsubishi, in sixth place. At the tail end of the field, James Holder leading Kiwi 2 in his Toyota, and a fantastic effort in 16th from Robert Murray leading the Classics.
Congratulations, Richard, another rally win.
Woohoo! Oh, we're pretty over the moon, like that's what we needed to do. See if we can do the same thing again tomorrow and we'll be really over the moon.
The margin at the end, I think, was about 13 or 14 seconds over Chris West, but he was coming back at you in the afternoon.
Yeah, certainly he was having a good run in the afternoon, but we didn't want to do anything silly. We have to think that Chris isn't our main opposition at the moment, so we really have to think with our heads and drive properly and drive a technical rally.
Day 2 was once again fine and clear. It's a brand new day for points, so let's check out what's ahead with our Vantage Aluminium stage preview.
Today's stages start with stages that we've used before, Mahaka Forest and Old Coach Road. Great stages up here in the Wairoa area again. We then head down and do Darky Spur, which is a stage that hasn't been used since the 90s, and it's an amazing stage with huge drops that give Monte Carlo a run for its money. After service, we head out back into the forest to 2 new stages, haven't done before. One of them's like a motorway for about 16k, flat out, really, really fast.
6 left plus.
Head back to service and then out to the last stage, a spectator stage along Triple Bridges, which when we recce'd it on Friday was underwater, so it should be interesting.
Stage 7, Havelock Tyres Mohaka, a classic forestry stage. But heavy snow damage had left some of the roads strewn with broken trees, so care was required. Once again, Richard Mason leads away, and once again, he's spewing plenty of gravel from the tyres. Chris West would not be caught out on tyre choice again, and the former champ was taking a conservative approach to this stage.
6 left long and 4 right plus.
Well, this stage starts with a wide, flowing forest road, as you can see here with the pictures. But the crucial part of the stage, midway through the stage, you go into a narrow logging section. Now, if the trees have come down on the road, you're going to have to be very, very careful.
Yeah, and really driving it like he pinched it there too. Chris West, trees or no trees, still flying. Sam Murray now, getting slightly better road here and getting pretty sideways as well, Roger.
Well, Sam really has to lift the pace today. He has to get up onto the podium. Now, as we spoke earlier, we said there'd be a lot of trees across the road, and as you can see, there is. What's happened is there's been a lot of snow, and the snow has got on the trees and crushed them down onto the road.
4 left minus, opens 50, 5 left, 5 right minus 50.
Mason's time, 16 minutes, 11 seconds.
Richard, first stage of the day, where there's some trees blocking the road in there.
Yeah, there's been some fallen trees and they've cut them down, but we clipped one with the left front, so hopefully we haven't damaged too much in there.
West is just 0.6 of a second slower.
Chris, Richard's gone a second quicker in the first stage this morning.
Yeah, it was a testing stage, and there's a lot of branches in there, very easy to puncture, so it's a matter of getting through there. But yeah, we thought we had a problem with the front and maybe a flat, but seems to be still air in it, so we'll carry on.
Disaster for Sam Murray, whose car is leaking fluid as he arrives at the finish.
Sam, there's a bit of water coming out of the front of the car.
Yeah, I think one of the... there's a stick there, not sure where it was, there's so many trees in there, I think one's just flicked up and poked a hole in the radiator, so I don't know what quite is going to happen from here.
Temperature-wise, towards the end of the stage, did it get hot?
Yeah, it is starting to climb up now, so it must be running out of water.
You've got 2 more stages before service.
Yeah, we just have to try and keep filling it and see how we go.
Brett Martin was able to show again that the Evo 9 is competitive. He posted 3rd fastest, 16 minutes, 26 seconds. Glenn Smith had recovered from his bout of illness and was able to take advantage of his road position to be 4th, just a second behind Martin. And Hayden Padden picked up where he left off on day 1, 5th fastest, just 0.1 of a second behind Smith.
6 right plus into a 5 left.
Emma Gilmore started the day with a suspected diff problem that was making the car difficult to control.
Yes, as you can see there, Darcy, a lot of oversteer on that car, and that's not natural. And she's just about gone right. Oh, she has actually gone right round, and she's hit a little tree. The car is definitely not behaving well.
Despite that, though, Emma was still 7th fastest.
Short 6 right and 5 left minus, long tightens to 4 minus.
Emma a little bit down on the time. What happened?
We had a spin, just got away on me, and we spun into a ditch and had to reverse out and get going. And then, I don't know, it was hard to decide how fast to go through the fallen log area because there was a lot of branches poking out, and it was a little bit inconsistent with how narrow the road was, so a bit slow.
Thoroughbred breeder Brent Taylor is starting to make a name for himself with a different kind of horsepower. He's up to 8th. But Stuart Taylor was in 9th, already down 22 seconds on arch rival Hayden Padden, his main competition in the rookie class. While Dean Sumner was off the pace in 10th in the ITM Lancer, but just 0.3 of a second behind Taylor. Dylan Turner's woes continued on day 2. After repairing the car, he was starting to have turbo problems, which slowed the car toward the end of the stage, but he still finished in 11th. So after the first stage of day 2, Richard Mason still leading, but Chris West right up his tailpipe, only 0.6 of a second behind. Down in 6th, Sam Murray. Unfortunately, Sam retired at the end of the stage. Coming up, Subaru versus Mitsubishi. Have the tables turned? Stage 8, Wayne Kirk Motors Old Coach Road, is a county road which climbs steeply after a fast start, but there have been major road repairs at the top of the road. Stage 9, Lodge Auto's Darky Spur, is a frightening stage which climbs a steep ravine. Going off here could result in tumbling hundreds of metres to the valley floor. So with the new road repairs, the surface is loose on top and soft underneath, so Richard Mason is unlikely to be fastest once again. On board with Chris West as he climbs up to the top of the stage, and he's working hard at the wheel as the car slides across the road. Roger.
He certainly is, Darcy. Now, with the roadworks, it'll be very slippery. The key to this special stage for all the competitors is where you start. So, in other words, the guys that start at 6 or 7 are going to be in a major advantage as opposed to these guys starting at 1 and 2. You can see there the road already cutting up.
Great.
And Darcy, look at the amount of gravel coming off the tyres here with Chris West.
Mason posted a 12.37.4 and West is just 1 second faster. Brett Martin is next through, and at 12.32.3, he's 4 seconds faster than West. But the real surprise is Glenn Smith, who wins the stage.
Glenn, at this stage, you've actually won the stage.
Yeah?
Yes.
Amazing.
You're 2 seconds quicker than Brett Martin.
Jeez. We went good in the stage last year, and I thought I'd give it a go, but the light came on about halfway through, and it got a bit taily, but it might have been nothing. It might have just been feeling slippy out there, but pretty happy with that.
Stuart Taylor also benefited from the road position to be 3rd.
Within about 500 metres at the start, we ran a sheep over, and I was really concerned. We had it square on. I thought we were going to damage our radiator. Another corner we ran a little bit wide, but someone else had already taken the fence out, so we didn't hit anything. And no, I'm wrapped. It felt good.
But Dylan Turner's day went from bad to worse.
Dylan, a lot of smoke coming out of the car. What's happened?
We blew a turbo at the end of the last stage with about 4 Ks to go, so that's why our time was a bit slow in there, and we did this whole stage without a turbo. Blowing a bit of smoke. Hopefully we can get back through Darky's Spur to the service, get a new one in there, and, have a go this Arvo.
So, to the infamous Darky's Spur, where the drivers need to battle nerves and the power-sapping incline to get through the stage. After stage 8, Mason was just 0.4 of a second behind West for this leg. Remember that points are awarded for your position on each day, not for overall rally position.
Now, it's a very steep climb up through here. Now, this is where the Group N cars, the production-based cars, struggle a little bit with the power getting up through the hill. The other thing that the driver must remain focused on is the road ahead, not the big drops off on the side there, as we can see there, Darcy. That looks pretty scary.
Only looks scary if you're looking at it. As you said, eyes on the road, there should be no dramas.
2, 4 left opens 50.
West beats Mason's time and extends his lead to 5 seconds, but he wouldn't win the stage.
Left opens.
Brett Martin was slower than Mason by just 0.2 of a second, but was now in 3rd place on the day. With less power than the Evo 9, Glenn Smith would drop back to 4th here, 10 seconds down on Martin. But the stage winner was Dean Sumner, his first stage win. And Stuart Taylor posted 3rd fastest on the stage to move ahead of Hayden Padden. But the rookie battle was close, just 6 seconds back to Padden.
Into a long 4 left minus.
Emma Gilmore's differential problems were getting worse, and this seemed to be compounded by the uphill terrain.
2 left, tightens into a narrow, long 2 right. Don't go wide. 30. 3 left, tightens into a 3 right, 100.
She was only 8th fastest on the stage and dropped 2 positions to be 8th overall. Brent Taylor took up his usual 9th position, remembering this is the oldest car in the field and Brent's finally found its upper limitations. Barber also moved into 10th on this stage. In the battle for the first 2-wheel drive, Mark Tapper was back and took the lead over the first 3 stages to be 14th overall at the break. Aaron Cook also back for day 2, and while he was 46 seconds behind Tapper at the break, he did manage to beat his time on stage 8. Hard-charging James Holder was second 2-wheel drive briefly and leading the Kiwi 2 class until he got stuck off the road on stage 8. So Dave Strong took second Kiwi 2 behind Cook. The team had fixed the clutch from day 1, but he still wasn't happy with the car's performance.
2 right tightens, repeat, 2 right.
Now the Kiwi 2 cars, particularly Dave's car here, they struggle going uphill. They struggle with traction. Now if you haven't listened to the throttle, Dave's been very careful on throttle application. He has to get traction.
Narrow 2 right, don't go wide. And 30.
You can hear it there. Nice and softly on the throttle, and then he picks it up.
Robert Murray had a clear run in the lead of the Classics, unlike younger brother Sam, who was now spectating. Top 20 results after stage 9. Chris West holding a slender margin over Richard Mason. Brett Martin still lurking around in 3rd in the Mitsubishi. And in the bottom half, Mark Tapper making a return in 12th position. Aaron Cook leading Kiwi 2s in 13. Dave Strong just behind as we saw before. And Andrew Keeley now up to 3rd in Kiwi 2. It's a much happier Chris West who arrives back at service.
Winning today is obviously first and foremost, and if we can get back for the overall weekend, then that's a bonus. Yeah.
Just a bit of tyre grooving going on for the next stage in the back here.
Yeah, we're just trying to get that traction, and obviously the main thing to do is open up the tyre. That's most important, and try and get down to the base and get some traction and
it's, we were just struggling with obviously running, right at the front of the field.
Richard, looks like Westy's stretched that lead. He's 4.9 in front.
Yeah, there's not a lot we could do about it there. We had the bent front arm and it was slowing us down a little bit. Maybe a mistake with tyres. We should have grooved them this morning. It was quite heavy, so now we've grooved our tyres for this afternoon.
Sam Murray's problem this morning, I believe he's probably out. So does that take the pressure off you championship-wise?
Yeah, sure, it takes the pressure off championship-wise, but it puts the pressure on to finish. So now we've got to make sure we're thinking with our heads.
After a difficult season, which has had many lows, Dean Sumner finally had reason to celebrate.
It's been a great morning, your first rally stage win.
Yeah, woohoo! Yeah, I'm pretty happy. Just everything's sort of coming together finally, and hopefully we can keep up the pace for the rest of the day.
The rookie battle had swung Stuart Taylor's way, but Hayden Padden wasn't about to give up.
It's actually really good. It's really good, close competition. Every stage he's only seconds in it, so it's keeping us on our toes.
You're actually 5 seconds behind him at the moment. You're 7th and he's 6th. Going into big 35k stage, what's the plan?
The plan's to attack this one. We have to make our break on this one before the last 2 stages, which are pretty tricky, so we're going to try pretty hard on this one.
I don't know whether I'm going to attack. I'm going to try and just conserve my position, I think, and see what happens.
Just talking about your position, you're actually in 6th overall, but you're not far off the leaders, really.
Was that right? Yeah. Well, I'm pretty happy to hear that. I'll just carry on doing what I'm doing and hopefully get to the finish.
Next up, stage 10, 31 kilometres through Pohukura Road, described as some of the fastest gravel in the Hawke's Bay. Richard Mason attacked here, posting a 20-minute 45-second time. But Chris West was in the winning mood now. If he could extend his lead today over Mason to 15 seconds, he would take home both the valuable League 2 points and the overall rally title. So could he make up the extra 10 seconds here?
Well, I don't know if he can make up 10 seconds in one stage on Richard, but he's certainly looking a lot more focused today. He's definitely on the pace. He's driving this car a lot harder. This is what we saw in the last round at Whangarei. Chris West really came into his own. He's starting to do the same here. Just look at these fantastic roads here at Hawke's Bay.
West's time, 20 minutes 40, 5 seconds faster than Mason. Glenn Smith picked up the pace again to be 3rd fastest and move into 3rd place. But he had Brett Martin just 0.9 of a second behind in 4th, so it was a tight battle. And Stuart Taylor answered the challenge, 4th on the stage and now 5th overall, overtaking Dean Sumner. And Sumner here not only lost time, but face with a bit of a spin. Let's play Spot the Car. So top 10 results after special stage 10. Chris West in the lead, 10 seconds up on Richard Mason. Glenn Smith moving up into 3rd place. Stage 11 was next and would be the final stage as flooding had forced the cancellation of stage 12. So 23 kilometres of forest to decide the rally. Mark Tapper made up for day 1 with an 11th place finish to be the first 2-wheel drive. Aaron Cook kept his Kiwi 2 lead and valuable points. While Robert Murray had to settle for 14th, but another easy win in the Classics. Dave Strong shows the contrast of this stage with a tight, narrow Ford to contest, but also he got to the finish, the second Kiwi 2, and much-needed points.
Well, Dave's actually dominated the Kiwi 2 class for the last 2 or 3 years, but really this year's been a really bad year for him, so I doubt whether he's going to win the title this year.
Andrew Keeley took 3rd in the class on leg 2, but came away with the most points for the weekend. And likewise, consistency rewarding Jason West with 2nd in class for the overall rally weekend. Grant Barber held on to 10th in the Cat Rentals Evo 8. And Brent Taylor was again consistent in 9th. Emma Gilmore was lucky to salvage 8th. By this stage, her car was proving very difficult to drive.
Once again, Emma going into a spin here. She must be getting sick of this.
In fact, her team changed the gearbox at the service and the car was much better in time to cross the finish ramp.
It's a major frustration when you're driving a car when it's got an obvious problem. In this case, Emma's got a problem with the centre diff. That's why they changed the gearbox, because the diff is in the gearbox. But it's a credit to her to get it home.
Dean Sumner just narrowly lost out to Stuart Taylor and had to settle for 7th. Taylor also missed out when Hayden Padden charged past both him and Sumner to take 5th and the rookie win. The battle for 3rd went Brett Martin's way and Glenn Smith had to settle for 4th. Still a good result, and for Martin, a very welcome podium finish. So Richard Mason had conceded victory to West for the leg, but would he concede the rally title? Just 4.5 seconds ahead overall at the start of the last stage, but with finishing on his mind. He looks conservative, but the time is 16 minutes 49.8. So can West do it? Really, just pride at stake here.
Well, Chris West won't gain any extra points if he wins the rally here, but this team, the Winger Subaru team, have been taking a hammering this year. It's great to see another strong performance by this team. He's trying pretty hard in this little section here, Darcy. Can he do it? Can he win the rally?
He's definitely throwing everything at it, including the kitchen sink. Let's take a look at the time. Down to the finish we go. And Chris West's time, wait for it, 16 minutes, 45 seconds. He takes the rally lead by 0.4 of a second. Unbelievable from Westy again. So let's take a look at the top 24 leg 2 of the Hawke's Bay Rally. Chris West, an astounding 15-second victory over Richard Mason. Brett Martin sitting there in 3rd. First two-wheel drive car home, Mark Tapper in 11th. Aaron Cook filling in 13th, the first Kiwi 2 driver. And Robert Murray winning the Classics. Top 10 overall results for the Hawke's Bay Rally. Chris West by 0.4 of a second over Richard Mason. And there he is in 3rd, Brett Martin.
It was great. You know, we had a lot of work to do, but it was hard work in the conditions, you know, sweeping the roads. But no, we're happy, and you know, the championship's still alive, and that's what we're here for.
Let's take a look at the championship. Richard Mason with a 74-point lead over Sam Murray. But remember, Richard will not be competing in the very last round. Let's take a look now at the rookies, and leading the way, Stuart Taylor, followed by a number of Mitsubishis in the form of Hayden Padden, Patrick Malley and Dermot Malley. And Aaron Cook, the top Kiwi 2 driver, cementing first place after the win on day 2. So celebrations for our rally winner, and time to splash the Daniel Lebrun as we head to the Wairarapa for the penultimate round of the Parker NZ New Zealand Rally Championship in association with Vantage Aluminium Joinery.
Another thriller in the New Zealand Rally Championship after all that racing. First and second separated by, what, a car length. Subaru driver Chris West winning the event, and he is our guest this afternoon. Chris, you're getting to be a bit of a specialist at these tight ones, Otago and now Hawke's Bay.
Yeah, it's yeah, the whole championship with Richard and I have fought pretty close, but to get down again and under less than a second is pretty exciting, and it makes a good spectacle for the sport.
Interesting times during that rally. It's amazing the difference just a tyre choice can make in those opening stages for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Saturday we did take a gamble with the tyre, and I'm a firm believer that it still would have worked with the conditions, but the tyre, with temperature, it obviously does make play a big part in it, and we just struggled to get the temperature in the tyre, and without that you've got no traction, unfortunately.
Pick up a bit of flack for that, did you? Hindsight's a wonderful thing in motorsport, isn't it?
Hindsight's a great thing, you're dead right, and we're always looking at trying to make an advantage, and had it been Whangarei where we had at least 10 degrees more temperature in the air, they would have worked, but like you said, hindsight's a great thing.
Richard Mason now leading the championship by 74 points. What are your aims for the rest of the championship?
Yeah, it's Richard's got a considerable lead over Sam, so really for us we've just got to carry on and just keep the pressure on and try and win as many heats as we can, and that's what Gary and I intend on doing next weekend at Whangarei.
Be pretty good to go down there and take him in his home patch, though, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, and it is Richard's hometown, and he's to be fair, he's probably got a bit of pressure on his plate. He's got to secure the championship first and foremost, and then he's obviously. He wants to win his home rally, and we want to go down there and obviously, continue the battle that we have had all season.
What sort of roads are you expecting?
Yeah, the roads are obviously a lot similar to what we've had at Hawke's Bay, and probably a wee bit narrower, but the shingle's going to be there, and we're bound to experience the same conditions as what we did at Hawke's Bay.
What about Emma Gilmore? We saw her in that rally, in the Hawke's Bay rally. She's had the wonderful experience of being in Germany and Finland this weekend. She's not going to have much time to get ready for Wairarapa.
Emma's had 2 rallies, 2 World Championship rallies in Europe, and it's a fantastic opportunity, and she is going to be pressed time to come back and do recce, but I'm sure she's well worked that out, and she'll come back and get some sleep, I guess, and carry on.
You've got 2 rounds on the National Championship Rally NZ to come. A bit of circuit racing, I believe, planned for the summer.
Yeah, hopefully. We that is the intention. We had a wee sniff at the start of the year at Pookie, and it was just a great experience. And if we can and fortunate enough to put a package together, we'll certainly try and concentrate on that over the summer.
Fantastic. Thanks for your time today, Chris. We appreciate the fact that you're pretty busy. Congratulations to you and Mel. You're going to be in for a very, very busy time. I'm not even sure I should tell you how busy you're going to be, but trust me, you are.
Yeah. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Good for you. All right, there we have to leave it. Yes, Chris West and Mel becoming parents for the first time. Chris West with nothing to lose next weekend in Rally Wairarapa, round 5 of the National Championship. Now, in a moment, we'll look...
Everybody does, yeah, that's okay. So slide over here and give me a moment. Your moves are so raw. I've got to let you know. I've got to let you know.